Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in, y'all. I'm already having problems today, okay? It's already technical difficulties, but hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. Get on in here, get on in here, get on in here, get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. What is going down? And we will see how many people actually show up because this is kind of a spur of the moment, y'all. Okay, this just hit me where I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a minute, and why not today? Okay, what better day than today? Okay, so let me go ahead and bring my guest in. Hey.
Hello, with my no microphone self.
What's going on?
Happy Juneteenth.
Um, um, Yes, happy Juneteenth, y'all. Happy Juneteenth. So, you guys, I don't know how many people like if y'all been rocking with me since the beginning, then y'all know that actually I think it was last year or was it the year before? It might have been the year before, child. That we were doing celebrating Black excellence movies. We started out doing these actually for Black History Month. And then it was kind of one of those things where I was like, okay, I do want to be doing these more than just Black History Month because Black History Month is, 365 days, 7 days a week, all the time that we can celebrate each other and uplift each other and just bring some awareness to things and all that other different kind of stuff. So I had said I was going to do it, throughout the year, but I kind of fell off with it. And it's still not something that I can really be like, I'm going to do it even the once a month, how I do a lot of the other ones, but I did want to try to at least do it a minimum of every maybe 3 months. And right now, I think it's been 4 months since I did the last one because the one that I did this past Black History Month was Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, the series that had came on that was on, FX, Hulu, National Geographic. It was on a couple of different channels, if I remember correctly. I did cover that one. But this is just like I said, it's different things. Sometimes it may be a person, it may be a movie, a documentary, a docu-series type of thing, or it could just be, I did one on icons, I did one saying all the Black inventions that we've baby, the majority of things we use on a regular basis is basically from the Black people. So I did one on those. And today I just really wanted to talk about Henriettalacks. I'm like, put some respect on her name, okay? Say her name, shine a light on her. Hey, shine a light on her. Hey, like it's so many things as far as medicine is concerned, as far as immunizations, just like everything, you name it, that literally comes from her cells. And this was not something that I was aware of actually until the movie came out. And then I went back and, read the book. And for me to even be somebody that spent over 20 years in the nursing field and was studying nursing in school, I feel like everybody should be taught about this regardless. But definitely if you were nursing and medical school or anything like that, I don't know how this doesn't come up, even with that conversation. It just was crazy to me. And it's so many different layers that go into her story that make it so impactful and important to me. So, of course, if you are familiar or not familiar, Rebeccaskoot did put out the book, The Immortal Life of Henriettalacks, back in February 2nd, 2010. It was a bestseller for 75 weeks. And later it would go on to become a movie on HBO in 2017, produced and starring, of course, Oprah Winfrey playing her daughter Deborah, and it would be a screenplay wrote and directed by George Wolfe. And then you had the Lax sons and her granddaughter as consultants on the film. And so, we definitely had a lot of people in here. Of course, Oprah was playing Deborah, like I said. We had Rose Bryan playing Rebecca. We had Elise, I forgot who played Elise Bax, but Reggie Cathy plays Zachariah. I know he changed his name when he went to prison, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm gonna just call him Zach. And then we had John Douglas playing Lawrence Lax, and we had Roger Robinson playing David Lax, and none other than Leslie Uggins playing Aunt Sadie. So, it was quite a few people. Also, Courtney B. Vance playing Sir Lord, scam a lot because he was definitely a scam in here. And Rocky Carroll as Sonny Lack. So I always thought it was a good movie, but more importantly, just even her story and all of the things that child her and her family went through. Like I said, it was so many different layers. So when it comes to this, like, first of all, when did you first even hear about Henriettalacks and her story? Like, I'll start there.
Oh, with me?
Mm-hmm.
I think around about the same time because we was excited to you was extremely excited, and I believe you brought it to my attention, and you was like, "This is this movie that's coming out, and it's so interesting." He was like, "I didn't know about this," and I was like, "Well, neither did I." So I remember it's been some time since it originally. I don't even remember they
Mm-hmm.
actually broadcasted. I think they broadcasted maybe this came out like what I would say like 2000 and what 17 something like that.
2017. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just remember how powerful it was. I did watch
Mm-hmm.
and watching it hit me a whole nother way because sometimes I think when you watch something the first time and you trying to like just get the feel of it, then you start noticing things that was just really effective, and you like, wait a minute, this is deep. This is really deep. I don't think I really knew to the core of what all this woman really did. I'm gonna let
Mm-hmm.
like just to. I don't think anyone really knows. And
Yeah, I'm not sure like how many people know because of course we'll get more into it when we get into the movie or whatever, but just like off the back of what they put out there, Henrietta Lacks, of course, was born August 1st, 1920. She's October 4th, 1951. So she was very young. She actually had excuse me, cervical cancer. And it was when she was going for treatments for the cervical cancer, and they were basically, taking um
hmm hmm
like Lord, let me go on so together. When she was getting biopsy for her tumor, right? This is when they find and trying to get her treatment and everything. This is at John Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland in 1951. Um this is when they find these cells, which they would later call the HeLa cells, right? And Henrietta Lacks is a black woman whose cancer cells was basically the source of a HeLa cell line and is the first immortal, which is why we, say the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. It was the first immortalized human cell line, one of the most important cell lines in medical research, and still continues to be, invaluable to this day. Like,
absolutely.
period. Like,
Period.
that's just so freaking crazy. And her having no idea of this, like, think about the fact that your body is kind of killing itself off to a certain degree, right? You dying from cancer, but at the same time, you have these cells that nobody else in the world has. That is actually something that is going to be used throughout history for so many different ailments and sicknesses and everything else, right? And like I said, this is all the way back in the 1950s that they first discovering and seeing this, and neither her nor her family wherever she never knew anything about this, and they were never compensated for the extraction or use of the HeLa cells. They had no freaking idea. They say a lot more researchers got involved and started learning about it around the 1970s, and the family was made aware about it around 1975. So just think about all these years. We went from 1951 to 1970 to 1975. And like I said, it'll break it down a little bit more when we get into the movie. But all these different years is passing and jumping. And this is still something that has basically just changed, history. And it's still something that we use and immunizations and all different type of medications research. I mean, there's a part in the movie where you even hear them say, oh, your mama done been to space. Like, this
Yeah.
is still something, y'all, to this day. Like, think about that. Let that sink in.
Yeah. Deep.
To this day.
Okay.
to this
That is just
day.
crazy. Hey, Inga. Thanks for coming through. Happy Juneteenth. What's going on, Lemon Kush Pepper? Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. So anybody that joins the live, please hit that like button when you come in. We are streaming. I think I'm streaming on Facebook and on Rumble, and I shared it on Twitter. I don't know whoever pop in, but if not, and y'all come on the replay, y'all know, replay game. Let us know you came by, okay? And make sure you tell us like when you found out about Henriettalacks, and have you read the book? Have you read the movie? And all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's just so freaking impactful. And like I said, y'all, this was kind of last minute, so I do have some slides that I put together, honey. But I don't know, we gonna still make it do what it do, right? Regardless. That's all I can tell y'all, because y'all know sometimes even when I have it all planned, it still be like it don't go that way. So just but this is of course letting us know. Wait a minute, because this thing be moving fast. Okay, this is letting us know that for decades scientists had been collecting these, samples. Pretty much what I was just saying, right? And in 1951, a woman entered the hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, and everything changed, right? And we literally can see like them taking the sculptures, them, crossing out her name, mind you, right? Because Henriettalacks, they crossed out all the rest of it and left the HE and then left the AL at the end, right? Which is why it's called Henriettalacks. So they blacked that part out. And mind you, this was not illegal. It wasn't against the law for them to do this at all. And it turns it into them calling it Gila. And they amazed by this. They like, oh wow, we never seen those cells like this. It just keep going and going, and. And of course, one doctor starting to tell another doctor, and everybody trying to test it this way, that way, the other way. And finally we see this doctor getting interviewed where they're asking him, have you ever met the patient? Like, did you actually get to meet her? Did you know her? And he says, no, I really didn't know her personally or whatever. There was one time, like right before she passed, that I went in the room and, stood by her bed and told her, your cells are immortal. They will be like, basically going through the test of time forever and ever and ever, right? So, and they said, oh, well, what was her name? And you could see the dumb look on his face that he really did not know her name.
Exactly.
And, we seeing it getting flown all around the world and all of that type of stuff, right? It's traveling, how it fights polio, child, so many different things.
Cocktail for AIDS. Cocktail for AIDS.
Yes, AIDS.
I believe.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting a blank mind right now, because it's so much stuff on the daggone list. Treatments with cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said. Well, it says she died giving the world hope in the cancer fight, right?
Yeah.
But she ain't know. She ain't know. It would have been nice if y'all would have told her. So then we go to 1954. You kind of see the timeline. And making it official, like Gila cell line, and paid $183. I don't know who was paid $183. I thought that was interesting. Then we have 1965. With genetics, medical breakthrough, right? So it's starting to get more popular now. Tuberculosis, new advancements with that, yeah, of course, like Kiani just mentioned, cancer, leukemia, helping with the studies with that, and 1981. So we done jumped like 30 years, right? And they still finding more things, that is able to basically help with in vitro. So when I say you name it, like, I mean, you name it. This list is so long. Then we get to 1985 and influenza.
My God.
So yeah, it's like all these things, AIDS, like we was mentioning. So just think about the fact that you don't know about this. They're coming to your house now all of a sudden, Parkinson's disease, and they trying to run tests on you to see if you got this blood too, because nobody else, chemotherapy in this world have these cells like that they have found, and not even her family, not even her kids.
Mm.
HPV. So now this is showing all the different, biochemical organizations. They all getting a piece of this now. Now they saying they were sending it to them for free. I don't know if I believe that.
No.
It was definitely money involved. We talking about a billion and $1 trillion daggone business, okay? And even if y'all did start it out for free, at the end of the day, it was about to make y'all, so much money. We know that it was definitely not going to be staying that way. It was going to be expanding and expanding and expanding. So they just showed you like how it just branched out and went to so many different dynamics. So
Mhm.
now we finally get to meet Dr. Patelli, who is like a freelance science, doctor that was familiar with the family, had been working with the family, and Rebecca is basically the person that wants to write the book that's going to him since she knows that he's good, that he's pretty much got a good relationship with the Lax family. She
Yes.
now goes to him and trying to go through him because she wants to write this book. But this is a family that's been through so much things at this point. Like they feel like they've been lied to by John Hopkins. They don't have scammers come in the mix. On top of that, they got all different kind of medical issues. I don't remember everybody's medical issues, but I know, let's just say, for instance, it could have been one of the sons had, diabetes. Another one might have had high blood pressure. Deborah herself, which is the daughter that is the youngest daughter that really don't have no memory of her that Oprah Winfrey is playing, that really has been trying to find out information and things like that. She had several different illnesses, and it was to the point that the stress of her trying to find out all this information was giving her more illnesses and making her more sick. So think about you saying that my mother's cells is curing and immunizations and doing all this stuff around the world for all these people, and you like I got all these different illnesses and it's not helping me, and I'm not getting nothing. You understand? Like that was just bugged out. So at this point, when she here talking to the doctor, first of all, he like, you a white woman. That was funny. I couldn't blame him for that. He was like, this is all you ever wrote? Like, this ain't even nothing. And on top of that, you a white woman from Portland. Like, why should we trust you? Why should we talk to you of all people? What did you think about this, Dion? First of all, what did you think
Well,
about the movie overall? I forgot to ask you. I'm busy running my mouth.
no, I just don't. I want to be everything to be clear because I know I don't have my mic. But I wanted to just add in it before we even went to this part was that studies have shown now just how important a lot of us as African Americans or African descended people, how our plasma is so important to the world, and how we have to be very careful because you would come across some people in the medical field, doctors and stuff, who would just be like, they'll see, when you do your regular blood work, they may throw a hint at you like, oh, you ever thought about donating your plasma and things of those natures. So I feel like, especially if you didn't see this movie, once you see it, I think we should take heed to that, as far as like, what you're doing with your plasma, as well as even to go as deep as what you're doing with like your placenta. I know it may seem like a little off, but the reason why I'm saying that is because we have genetic genes within us like no other. I believe it's called like the Eve gene. So some carry some of these cells that's really powerful. And here, like how this movie is and what is it's all about is this amazing woman who had these very peculiar cells
Mm-hmm.
that is actually healing people. And I'm quite sure, as unique as she may be, there are others that's just is just unknown, like they just don't know,
Yeah, I mean, she would have never known this had she not had the cancer. And like I said, it's one part of you that's literally being eaten away by this disease, but at the same time, you have these cells that you don't have no clue about that you had. And I do know, like, both from, working in the medical field and personal,
yeah.
definitely the placenta has been used for many of things, even like, with my I tell y'all all the time, me and all my siblings have the trait. My sister have, the disease as far as sickle cell. And there's been many breakthroughs with sickle cell and the placenta. And I remember years ago, my aunt telling me when my brother first had his first child, like, oh, tell them to get her the placenta. But it was like we didn't really know all the ins and outs and what it was all about. And then from that point on, I've heard so many different stories in reference to that. And it, hey, Mochi. What's going on, girl? Thank you for coming through. Happy Juneteenth. Hey, Candy Love.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
lady.
you read the book twice? Yes, I love this story too. I was like, nah, we got to talk about Henriettalacks.
We have to wake up. I think it's
Wait a minute.
like we completely sleep, but I feel like, when you do content like this, is so important because sometimes people just don't know. And I always have to go from a biblical perspective from time to time, that my people perish because of lack of knowledge, and we have to be knowledgeable. Because I just saw something the other day where people was literally fighting for their placenta. Like, how are you fighting for something that came out of your body? Like, make it make sense. It's not making sense to me. Like, you shouldn't have to fight for something that is a part of you. But this is what's happening because they know there's a lot of things that they know that we produce, not putting us in this class of, favoritism. But, I mean, when you're chosen, you're chosen. And yes, indeed. Like, this is something that, God has gifted us with. We have cells and things that, we can help other people with. And the fact that you have to fight for something that belongs to you, I think that's ludicrous. No one should have to fight for anything, pertaining to what belongs to them. Because these are things that you can, I believe, like, freeze. Because I was not knowledgeable as much as to it as I am now. When I had my son, I wish that I had more knowledge. I wish I had more.
Yeah, a lot of people are not knowledgeable
Yeah,
about it. And even I like that they pointed that out, even when she's meeting with him, because when he said, you're a white woman, what can from Portland, what do you know about this? Why should they talk to you of all people? Everything else she was saying was pretty much irrelevant. But then when she talked about having a sick father and going to the hospital with him and him being treated a certain way, and she also brought up that when she was in medical school, because she's a person that also has a medical background, but
yes,
is a freelance reporter. And
yeah,
she was like, she was so amazed when she heard this story in school and she wanted more info, and there was no more info. So this encouraged her and made her feel like, well, let me go see what info I could dig up, because how the heck we don't know about this? How isn't this story already been, being told?
yeah.
And that stuck out to him. That's what made him, I feel like, give her the number for her to call when she said
That
that.
no, I
And
told
that's true because, like I said, I have never been hearing about this, and no nursing program was I told anything about no Henriettalacks or her cells, baby. They
me,
was trying to keep that on the hush hush.
me neither. And we started out together, so I didn't hear it at all. And you would think, even when you going into the field for like medical tech and laboratory,
Mhm.
which that's something that I went into, that even at that time when you're actually dealing with samples and oh Lord, when you're dealing with those type of things, that they would tell you, like, this is this amazing person who created this, da, 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 da. Nothing. We didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Or the book exists. I mean,
Exactly. So I'm so glad that she, felt like this was a story that needed to be told, because it definitely did.
yes.
And of course, she reaches out to Deborah, and at first, Deborah like, who you? I don't know. Okay, she was not trying to hear her,
Yes.
but
Yes. But she was excited. She was excited.
yeah, because she mentioned the doctor and the fact that she got the number from him and she trusts him,
Yeah.
she knew, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He not gonna just send anybody my way. And she was a little confused because at first she got excited and she told her to call her back that following day. But then when the following day comes, it's like, well, no, now you need to speak to the family. Mind you, Rebecca at this point is excited too. She already done started pulling records and trying to do whatever research she can in the meantime So she speaks to her, and when she called her back, and she was like, "No, you got to go talk to the men. You
Yeah.
got to meet with the family, okay? You got to get the okay from them." She like, "Well, what the hell?" Trying to figure it out. So this is when she meets Sonny, which was so funny to me.
Yes.
What did you think about this?
Yes, it was really, really funny because I guess he was just looking at her like, oh Lord, here we go again. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta go through our interrogation, we gotta take
Mm-hmm.
looking around like, where they taking me to? Where they taking me to? It was very
Mm-hmm.
interesting to me. I like the fact
And the
that
way he just left her out there too, she was like, "Well, what house is it?" Like he was. Hey Juan, thank you coming through. Thank you for coming through. He says, "What is it, Tamika? WVDC area, great review." Oh, thank you, appreciate you. All right, I
he said
got some families down in them areas too. Okay,
Juneteenth. Yeah,
so yeah, I
it was
really thought
like,
this was funny. And then when she go in the house and he cooking,
oh,
what was that he was
yeah.
cooking?
He had the pork chop, the pork chop. I was like, really?
That thing was damn near burned. He talking about, "Oh, my wife don't like my cooking," and he gave it to her. It looked like it was so hard the way she picked it up and took a bite.
She was trying to fit in, honey. She
Yeah, she definitely was. Because at first, of course, they didn't really want to talk. They even brought in the father so he could start telling her about, when they first approached them, when they first found out about it, they like, "Yo, we didn't know nothing." Like we was mentioning, she was just sick. She was going for these treatments. And of course, they don't trust nothing about John Hopkins. They talking about people bodies disappearing allegedly. Yo, they had me cracking up. And when they first like come to her, because now at this point Deborah's more comfortable, she passed the test, so to speak, so she meets up with her too. It was funny to me when Deborah met her. She came in there spraying down that chair with that daggone light for her. After the people was looking at her like she was crazy.
said, "Oh, is that a salad bar over there?"
Right. She was just like, oh, she was all over the place. Definitely. But
Her nerves
um
so much.
she wanted to, not only did Deborah want to be able to give her info, but you have to keep in mind that she was very young when her mom died. So a lot of the stuff that the older kids remember, she don't. And she also don't remember things about her sister, Elise. I believe Elise, oh gosh, I wanted to write that down because I think Elise died in is it 1915? Let me make sure I have the right daggone dates. No, okay. She was born in 1939 and she died in 1955. I knew it was something with a five. She was diagnosed with idiocy and committed to the hospital of Negro insane. Okay. Her medical records show she suffered abuse, experimentation, mistreatment. So again, that's why I say it's so many layers, because not only do you have this woman that had cancer, that was going for treatments, that was young when she died, that left small kids behind, they struggling with poverty and everything else, they have illnesses. But then you have this child that was also sick, and we know that, which is horrible, right? The mental, especially back then, they was doing shock treatments, they was drilling holes in the head, they was, I don't know what they thought that was supposed to help with and do, child, but they had a completely different way, which is why so many people are, and I get it, have such stigmas when it comes to mental health, but it's definitely not done that
I
way
personally,
now.
I personally believe that the daughter had autism. I just feel like it was not something that they
Yeah, we didn't have the neck right.
yeah,
We didn't,
I
yeah.
believe it because they kind of showed in the beginning of the movie where she was just like present but not present, like somewhat
And
of
they
a
also said she had epilepsy and hearing impairment. So they kind of
yeah,
just put,
that kind
they
of put
would label people like that, oh, deaf, dumb, and all of that, which
yeah, yeah.
oh, that's so horrible. So horrible. So I didn't want to forget to mention that. So, she also wants to know about their sister too and what happened to her. So,
Mhm.
at this point, as she's telling Rebecca the story of what she can remember, And also, even what the father was saying to her, they bringing them in, doing blood tests on them, and they don't know why. They're scared, saying, well, do y'all think we have cancer like my mother did? Am I going to die like my mother did? Like, can you imagine that? But all the while, no, we ain't worried about y'all having cancer. We trying to see if y'all got these same cells that your mother have. And this is one of the moments where one of the techs that was taking the blood, or the nurse or whatever, is like, yeah, you should be proud. Your mother done been in space. They confused as hell. They don't know what that means. Like, what you mean my mother been in space?
Exactly. They don't know anything. They're like, wait a minute. Why are you taking my blood for? Like this doesn't even make sense. And then I believe she tried to ask her a question, and she just suddenly got silent, like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I can't say anymore. I've said
Right.
enough. But the fact that in those times, we already know what those times was like, where they didn't really discuss certain things. If you didn't stand up for yourself, or if you didn't
Mm-hmm.
ask the questions that was needed, you were not going to get the answers.
Right.
So it was just like, say what I say, and do
Right.
what I say, and don't ask of anything else. And a lot of, because of back then, a lot of people came from the South, which they kind of
Mm-hmm.
slave mentality mindset. They just felt like, oh, the white man is right, whatever he say goes. We don't gotta ask no questions. We ain't gotta, dive deeper into it to really find out what the heck is going on. Do what they say, because they right, because that's what the father gave me. Like, don't worry about it. He fussing with them because the brother came and was like, why are they doing this? Like, and it was just like, oh, just do what they asking you to do. I was like, Lord, touch the mind. But that's how they was treated, unfortunately, you know. So that part was really frustrating to me. I was just like, oh no, this is poor thing. And that caused that, from, you just think about, from the time that she was experiencing this, not knowing her mom, and then as she got older, you got people that's coming and taking blood and telling you what you should be proud of, but still you don't really have a full understanding of all of the reason why you guys are so fascinated by my mom. You don't even have all the facts. And so throughout the years, that just piled up on her, and just caused her to just be emotionally unstable, within herself, pertaining to the whole situation with her mother. And I just think that was just so horrible, so this.
Yeah, that's another reason why they were being protective and trying to make sure, who's coming, who to talk to her, because they knew she, it was a lot for her. Like, even when she gives her the picture that has her mom's cells on it, at first she's bringing her these documents and records and whatever little info, putting it on the bed, and like, if she want her to look at it, but at the same time, as soon as she goes to touch it, she grabs it back. So it's like, well, do you want me to look at them or don't you? She's so scared and just triggered and traumatic, with anybody even looking at these and being able to trust that you actually gonna do the right thing, and you really gonna do what you say you're gonna do. So they kind of have a falling out, and she leaves, but then she comes back and is like, all right, it's a new day. Let's go ahead and get out
It
here.
was She kind of had, to me, it was more like a momentary psychotic moment, because
Yeah, she had several of them.
yeah,
Hmm.
poor thing. Like, she was
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster. She was sane enough to know, because even down to this part with her brother, like, here she got her issues, but her heart, as we do, her heart feels more for him, because I believe he's younger than her, you know, and then they started showing like what they went through as children. On top of losing a mom, I was just like, oh my God, when it rained, it pours, honey. It definitely pours.
Yeah, he definitely went through psychotic breaks. He also was somebody that had went in jail. They talked about the fact that he changed his name while he was in jail. And so, even when she sat down to talk to him, one minute he was kind of calm and cool, and Deborah had told her, like, oh, if you need me, just look up, baby. Next thing you know, he started yelling. Deborah came over there like, is everything okay?
Poor Deborah. Deborah had her share, honey. Yes,
Yeah.
she did. God bless her and her family. For real. Yeah, so what part is this? Okay, so this is when they was actually going to the hospital, right? And she said to him, she said, now listen here. Nobody got time for crazy today. Oh no, okay, we passed that part. She said,
No, we didn't get there yet. We didn't
oh,
get
okay.
there.
Oh,
This is when they went to Clover to the R house.
yeah, yeah. Okay, got you. They going to meet the family. She taking her to meet the family. I tell you, boy, beautiful. They was sharing with her.
Yeah, at first they was like, I don't feel like talking. I don't like to tell no stories on the dead. It took them a minute to warm up too.
Yeah,
And then, once they started talking on Sadie was
yeah.
kind of able to give her perspective because they had that kind of cousin sister bond like how we had. So they over here hanging out, they on the Ferris wheel. And she letting her know, like, man, your mother used to dress, her behind off and have her makeup and.
Paint her nails.
Hmm.
Make sure her nails is painted. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and she would feed everybody. They would have a house full of people, and it's supposed to be cousins that's coming through the east. They said, "Well, we know damn well all these people wasn't cousins, but we just said they was cousins, right?" We like, what you want to eat, and just that whole kind of thing. Like she always was helping everybody.
Yeah, that takes me back too.
Hmm. Yes.
And
Yes, definitely, definitely. So then she finds out about having the cancer, and they had a line down, 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 down the hall of
yeah,
everybody showing up and wanting to donate blood. And this part kind of broke my heart too,
yeah,
with them going to the grave because her mother's in an unmarked grave, and they don't even know exactly which one it is. It's like we know it's in this area, her and her sister.
yeah. I thought that was oh man. First, I was just touched by the fact that going back a little bit, where she was like, all those people that mama used to feed and they used to come to the house to eat. They said the line was wrapped around the corner, like there was no end to the line. So I was like, that's so beautiful. And then to be able to go pay her respects, and kind of reminds us a little bit of our land, and our resting place for our families. How it's just on, you got this plot and people are on top of each other. You don't really know exactly where they are. So I was like, oh man, I kind of fell for it. But I like the fact when she was looking like, what they doing? They was paying their respects by kneeling down and just praying.
Yeah.
Thought that was really sweet. I thought that,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, Rebecca definitely. I think her life was changed in this process of going on this journey
Mm-hmm.
to write this book. But it was definitely needed. And in my mind, the whole time I was watching, and I was like, isn't it amazing how God would just use a vessel? It
And
just,
it's crazy too because Rebecca was, I mean, and that's well, yeah, we'll get there too because they kind of get into an argument later. Because, like I said, Deborah, she's still skeptical. Actually, she started getting a little bit more comfortable with Deborah. But then when she go back and Deborah, I think, wanted to take, and I might be jumping ahead, but there's a part where she discusses wanting to take her to John Hopkins so that she could basically, show her the cells in person, but she had gave her the picture in the meantime. And she's trying to get this book done, but she's kind of hitting walls with it. And it was crazy too how when she goes to see the doctor now, on the one hand, this is a doctor that had this been the family, he wouldn't have saw them, but Rebecca was able to get in, so Rebecca could get in spaces that they can't. But at the same time, he had the audacity to sit there and tell Rebecca as she's interviewing him, oh, they wouldn't because she said, well, why you never told the family about it? They wouldn't have understood anyway, those kind of people. And Rebecca looked at him, and Rebecca was telling Deborah about that, and she was like, yeah, now you see what we have to go through, right? And then it would be certain times that Deborah would say, listen, that's my mama, she working, Henriettalacks don't play, she gonna make a way for this to come through, Hilla gonna work it out or whatever, because she was like, one minute she would have somebody that would say they was going to do the book. Then they would turn around and say, no, well, why don't you take the family out of it? And we want this changed and that changed. How the heck you want us to tell the story, but you don't want us to have the family in it? Like, make it make sense. And
Exactly.
so they would kind of go back and forth with that. And the man, at first I thought the lady was being sarcastic,
Me
like when she
too.
comes to see this man and he was on with the book, and then the next thing he was like, no, take the family out. Then the next thing she get a call, and she was like, what was it that you came in to see him about? And he got hit by what was it, a train or a bus? I thought she was being funny. I said, oh, he really did get hit. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
And Deborah said, look, that's my mama.
Mama working. She moving when she got to move out the way. So
yes. I was like, wow. I said, oh, wait a minute. She for real, for real.
yeah.
So I always thought that was interesting. But what I was about to say about Rebecca is that she was broke as hell. Like, she did not have no money. This lady muffler was hanging down on the car, and then Deborah even told her, get that muffler fixed. That's embarrassing. And she said, get you a daggone cell phone. Yo, that was just hilarious.
She was getting some money. She said, She said, look. She was like, I'm writing short stories just so I could pay for a hotel.
Right.
I got credit card bills that's overdue. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, she was struggling. She was struggling.
She was. She really was. She was.
I'm sorry, y'all. I've been waiting on my coffee. I was like, where's my son at?
Look.
Hey, Inga. Inga said, this story was very sad. They did the lady and her family dirty. Yes, they did, baby, but we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
I'm about to give it out.
So, now we really into it. We doing what we gotta do. She's starting to write, stuff and get stuff together. And we on the road, and we know the book is coming through. And then the family sits down to talk to Deborah. I felt a couple of different ways about this part. One, I get the trauma that they've went through, and I also know, like, especially the old school people, we kind of are those people that's like, why you always gotta dig on stuff? Why you gotta bother with stuff? Leave stuff alone. I know, even with me trying to look up my family tree, my mother will always be like, but what the heck you want to know? What you looking for? And I'm like, I'm looking for stuff that I want to know for me. Like, what is the problem, lady? Like, you act like I'm trying to give it to the FBI and CIA or whatever. So I think I get the aspect of some people just want to know certain things for themselves, and some other people may feel like, I don't need to know nothing. Whatever it was, that's what it was, leave it there. But then I kind of felt bad that to a certain degree it was like they was holding it over her head or trying to make her feel guilty about it and be like, oh, we did this for you and did that for you. You want to go there to John Hopkins to see themselves after everything they did. Like, I got it. But I also felt like maybe they could have just been like, that's not something I can do, Exactly. But if you want to do that, then you go ahead and do it. What you think about that?
No, I totally agree with you. I just felt like, it should have been a choice of hers if they didn't want to involve themselves. But I also looked at it from another side where it was like, well, maybe they made that decision because they knew from a mental perspective.
Right. That part too, yes.
And they didn't really want her to down Sparrow. So it was just like, you know what? It's best that you just don't touch it anymore, because I think you've had your share.
Right.
And touching it. Like,
yeah, definitely could have been multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And two things can be true at the same time, so
Absolutely.
Definitely. because now that they said that, her mood changes, and when she comes back to Rebecca, and Rebecca like, listen, I'm tired, girl. You got me on a damn roller coaster now. Now she's saying, where is it? And you got this money, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. And she like, no, I'm not. That's when she literally takes out her checking statement, like, girl, I barely got $20, okay? Now, baby, I love me some Courtney B. Vance, y'all. But Courtney B. Vance was playing Sir, what was it? Sir Lord? Baby, he was, they didn't know this at the time, but he show up and he act like he about to be the savior. He know all about their case. He about to work their case. And this was so horrible. Oh my God.
He was. And then he called himself suing them. Like, I was like, how you suing?
Yeah, like how you turn around, because they end up getting a call that's like, don't trust this man. He a scammer. He just got out of jail. I said, not this guy out of jail. Because, I mean, he had them so happy. He was around like, we going to do this. We going to do this. I'm getting y'all $50 million. And they was like,
yeah. But you know what? You know, my everybody's mind is different. In my mind, I said to myself, I said, you see how what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn around for good? Because they never even could have probably imagined that they even, you know, was entitled to any type of money because of the fact of the lack of information that they did not know, or really just know the direction to go in, you know? So sometimes things happen where it'll kind of like drop it in your spirit, and then before you know, it'll start manifesting in a positive way, if that makes any type of sense.
Yeah, that, and I was thinking about, not for nothing, I mean, yes, I'm glad they did get warned and somebody did call and tell them, but how many news stories have we seen with people that scamming as doctors, as lawyers? Child, I seen something where a lawyer won like 50 cases that was not no lawyer. Then they arrested him and charged him, and he beat his case too. I don't think that was here in the United States, but I remember reading it, and I said, well, baby, you may as well go ahead to law school. He probably been good at his job. Yeah. And not only that, even though it was horrible that he did that to them, they actually was able, you know, this was the good part that came out of it, because now when she started getting the records that he got, she got more information about her sister that she didn't have before, and she wasn't getting from anybody else. So it was like, it's a plus and a negative at the same time.
Exactly.
That's John Hopkins in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's when she gets the information on her, and she was able to. And another thing about Deborah, baby, like, she might have had, you know, her issues and her sicknesses. She got all this medicine on the table. You know, this was the book that she also came across that let her know different things that she had never saw before. But she was not no dummy. Like, she had them damn papers. She knew, this is the records I need. You know, this is the information I need. Y'all want to play around and y'all want to give me this and give me that. But what I got, I said, I know that's right. I loved it. I love the fact that, you know, so they kind of went through it with this part, but then she trusted her again. And then this is when they go to the hospital where her sister was at, that you was talking about before. Then when they first got in here, I was nervous because it was no records in this room. Like, what was you thinking with this?
Yeah, me too. I was just like, oh my God. And then once again, you know, I see things from a spiritual perspective so much. You know, God always have a ram in the bush. I was like, woohoo, come on through. Because when they get in, when the gentleman comes out and pose the question, like, who are you looking for? You know, there's always someone that's there to try to, you know, mess up the flow.
Yes.
Or, you know, make things harder. But then there's always that person who's carrying the light. And out of all of the records that they had left, because I believe they had a fire, if I'm not mistaken, they only had like 10 records, 10 books.
Yeah.
10 years of records. And
this part gave me chills. Yes, this part gave me chills, because even he came out and said, I've never seen this before. He said, and I've never seen a record, because they went through 19 this, 19 that. He said, oh, 1955 right here. He said, and I've never seen one that had a photo in it, you know? Like, that was just meant for her to find. And then you still had another jack behind that tried to come in here. Oh, who are y'all? And why are you showing them records? Close that up right now. And she said, no. She said, I have my birth certificate, my mother's, my sister's. I got power of attorney. I said, you better let them know, Deborah. Let them
You
know.
better let
Okay.
them know, Deborah.
Yes. But then this took her down another emotional roller coaster with getting this info, because that's when they found out about, the treatment that she was getting. She was like, why they holding her head like that? That got her upset. Oh, that was so horrible, yo. Oh, Oprah
Yes,
did a very good job with this movie. Yeah, the documentary is good as well. Yes, yes. I would suggest everybody watch the documentary, read the book, any information you can have on this, and as much as you could talk about it, especially since it wasn't talked about for so long, we should all be doing that. Absolutely.
absolutely. We should understand to the core that every
Yes,
look at anything that is an antidote or something that's a form, a step towards a cure, or any type of, vaccination or cocktail or chemo, everything that you possibly could think of, this woman's cells are in there. That's,
exactly.
that's
Like
crazy.
everything, period.
Everything, there's not
Yeah,
one. It starts with her cells.
absolutely.
Ah, my God,
Yeah,
that's amazing. That,
yeah, definitely. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. That's what happens when you multitasking. So yeah, like I said, with this part, she spirals again. She's zooming down the street. She's stopping over, telling this complete stranger, "Oh, I found my sister." That lady was looking at her like she was crazy. Rebecca
yep,
trying to get a hold of her and say, "Listen, why don't we go back to the hotel first, sleep for a while, and
yeah,
then we'll go ahead." And
yeah.
then we kind of have her now say, here's the records. Look at the records. I'm going to sleep. Then no, I'm not going to sleep. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna read them to you while you type. Yo, she was putting her
No,
through it in this one.
wait a minute. Did you pass the part when she was on the Wait, okay, no, you didn't. Because I was thinking like when she was on showing the lady the records, I thought they went straight to the family house, but they went back to the hotel.
Yeah, they went back to the
Okay,
hotel. She said, let's take a break, because I think she made her really nervous. And
yeah,
she felt
I
like
would
we
have
need
been
to
nervous.
calm it down for a minute, you
I
know?
would have been nervous too. But
Yeah,
she was looking
yeah.
out.
Now, at this point, I didn't get the screenshot. I was trying to get it, but what she's saying to her right now is, get the hell off of me, because,
She choked up.
Deborah choked her. She started really going off again, and she said, look, I told you. She said, get off of me. I told you how you tried to scam you and your damn family. She got pissed at this point, and I could understand, because it's like, okay, now we getting a little, it's getting to be a lot.
Yeah,
So they needed to kind of woosah.
yeah, because Rebecca was holding the light up. She was doing
Yeah,
well for a long time, and I guess she said, "Listen, my cup done runneth over now.
right.
You putting
Yeah.
your damn hands around my throat, like what you
Yes.
doing? No, you
Yeah.
on the crazy train now.
Yeah.
But she kind of snapped back when she said,
Yeah, she did. She
"Yeah,
did.
you
Yeah,
called,
that made her snap back,
yeah,
because the thing about it was, at first she was telling her like, oh, you can look at the records now, and you can use this with my sister, you can use that, but then there was a part she wanted her to leave out, and I think Rebecca smiled, and she got pissed off and took that as her laughing at her. And
yeah,
she was like, no, I was smiling because I thought it was so sweet that you're trying to be, protective of
protective,
your sister.
yeah,
But
protective,
it just was a moment that definitely got out of hand, because emotions was high.
yeah." Emotions was high, and she wasn't fully like processing everything. You know,
Hmm.
already on the edge. Emotionally unstable, trying.
Yeah, that was a lot to take in, because
Yeah,
also I forgot to mention that when she finally is looking at these records, because even though Deborah already had the records, it probably was some things that she really didn't read in detail, maybe some things she didn't understand. So we also learned that her mother was pregnant when this happens, with her finding out about the cancer and all of that. And I believe it's Zacharias, which is the one that went to jail and all of that stuff, that she was pregnant with at that time. So we're also talking about the impact that it had on her pregnancy, how it could have possibly affected him, that she didn't know that this was happening. So Like, can you imagine all those different things? That's why I said so many layers and so many different factors. And so that was kind of like another, ton of a lot that just fell on her. That,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely. I trust me. I on the outside looking in. I mean, I really think that Oprah did an amazing job
she did. She really did.
playing this.
Um,
Hmm. Because it was really bringing her character to life on just the amount of like stress she was pretty much handling, and just never really getting the comfort that she needed, and longing for something she never really had, because all
mhm,
she knew of her mom, she lost her at such an early age. And now you're walking around and you're trying to fight for her, and keep her alive, and make sure that justice is served, and you know that she's spoken of.
mhm.
And and it always, how we are with these, with any type of movie, sometimes we be on one accord when it comes to, like, what did you receive in that, what was the message that you got from it. you know um and for me, even though we're not finished yet, it was just like, what I received was, even at the time when something is happening that you don't really understand, that is really working out for your good. It is. It don't sound or seem like it, because it just seemed like so much pain, so much trauma, so much this, so much that. But what is it leading up to? There's a purpose behind the pain.
Mhm.
Hmm. Just throwing that one in there.
Definitely. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, some of
Oh,
these guys might have got messed up.
yeah.
So I don't know how
This
much
when she
it.
had a break. This is when she had the psychotic break.
Yeah, they
She
and
goes to.
I've been trying to like make sure, but either way, they was riding to go, now to the family. They had sat down and ate, and we got over that part. And she stops over here, and it's kind of like, take my picture, with the thing from her sister that they got from the hospital, and she's seeing flashes of her mother's funeral, you know, saying that the oldest son, he stayed back. He didn't want to go with the rest of the family where
Very.
they was going,
Mm-hmm.
to bury her and stuff like that. And then the memories of being with her aunt, and that it was an abusive situation. She
Horrible,
was getting abused. Her brother was getting abused. It was horrible.
horrible, horrible, horrible.
So I mean, now we got another layer. Like the layers just keep going and going and going.
And unfortunately, that's the problem with most people, even to this day. You know, People are not actually tapping into, the levels of the pain of the things that they experience. So it just piles up and piles up. So for me, I've always been the type of person, when I see people in the street, if I see someone that, I mentally is being challenged, or something is happening, I've never been the one to laugh, or shoot them away. I use my discernment and just discern their spirit. Sometimes they just hungry, or they need some water or something. You just don't know, you know.
Yeah, you definitely don't know. We all have our trauma, child. Every last person on this earth, some the same, some less, some more, but we all got something,
Yeah.
But baby, did her aunt come on over here? Her other aunt said, listen, neither one of
Yeah.
y'all, because she went running to find, to get away and let her know what was going down. And she said, if you ever, I said, I know that's right. Somebody had to
They
stand up,
was
okay?
both sick. They was
Yeah,
sick.
they were
They was
absolutely, and
sick.
I'm like, why even have them there? Like, because of course, we've seen a part two where Henrietta knew she had this cancer. She knew she wasn't going to, see her kids grow up, and it was Sadie, and I forget whether that was another sister of hers or a friend, but she was saying to Sadie and the other person, take care of my kids, especially my little baby, because she was still so small and she knew
Yeah,
she was not, and
exactly.
it's like
But
that's all you could want for is your kids to be protected and take care of in a good way.
exactly. But that was not her sister. That was the father's sister.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that one was the father's sister. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and her and her husband both sick and twisted. I said
Yeah.
one twisted person in the household, but both of them.
But now you got two. She coming at the daggone son, her brother, and he coming at her. She said once she turned 15, is like fighting him off. I'm like, what kind of mess is this?
You got a whole wife and you trying to over here molest this girl, and then your wife is sick and twisted because God only knows how you really treat her, and she got
Right.
an abusive demon inside her. She wants
Mm-hmm.
people and scold them and all kinds of stuff for what reason? It
Yeah, that was so horrible.
was
So
horrible.
now this is another, like, trying to come down from this day, because this has been another like stressful
Woo!
day where a lot of stuff has been revealed to her. And they go back to Sadie house and they did what I think that's her husband Cliff.
Yeah,
And he trying to calm her down because Rebecca couldn't calm her down. That was for
yeah,
sure. And then he just starts saying, "Listen, calling on the Lord, okay? He
yeah,
is here."
yeah.
And he was able to get her, and Rebecca was just so amazed.
Yes, because he was
She
like,
was,
he said, take this from us, take this cup from us, take it from her. We listen. Let me tell you something.
she was so amazed that she came back that next day to ask him about, his beliefs and what he said, and he gave her the Bible, and
Yes,
she just was stuck because she never experienced anything like that before.
yes, yes. She said, no. What I love what Deborah said, she was so full, and I know what that feels like, and I also know what it feels like for someone to pray to such a point to where they can, you feel the lift from that situation. Like the lift, they have prayed, and the lift has you could just it's just like just pull away from you. She said, "Oh," when she sat down, she said, "I believe I gotta come back and get some more." I know that's right there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah.
So yeah, this is when Sadie comes to talk to her again. She had to check on her after hearing about that name that went down. And this is when she tells her about when she first told them about her having the cancer. And this is when she was saying, "Take care of my baby girl." Aw.
Said I got something. She said I got something in me, y'all. I said I don't.
Yeah.
She knew what
And
she
at
was.
first it was like, "Oh, another baby. I know you ain't having no another baby." It's like, no, not that. Like. So
Yeah.
this is when they come to. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you
No,
said?
no. I said I was looking at it from her not even knowing, like, the power in your tongue, right? You don't even know what you're saying when you're saying it. So when she said I got something in me, she was just thinking about the cancer, but not
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
had something in her.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
like, oh my God, that's
Yes.
beautiful.
I love this moment, even though I know some of the family members, didn't want them to do this, and like I said, I got why they didn't.
Mm.
They come here to see the cells, and Zachariah actually joins them,
That's
and
what she
that
told.
was so funny too. But
That's what
I
she told
love
her.
the
Wait, wait,
fact.
wait, wait, wait,
Uh
wait.
huh.
She said that's what she told her. I was laughing so hard. She was like, "Listen now." Deborah looked at him. She said, "Listen now. We ain't dealing with your crazy today, okay?
Yes. Yes.
We
Yes.
ain't dealing with your kind of crazy today.
Yes.
Come
Like
along,
we gonna be on our best
best
behavior.
behavior." I said, "All right, sis. Let them know." No.
um. So yeah, I love this part too. How like everywhere she looked, she saw her mother,
Yeah.
and then them showing us when she first walked in there, and her being in that exact area, or the area where she's sitting, where was the waiting area as they're walking past.
Mhm.
The nurse first walking up to her saying, "We ready, you could come in now." But it was like if Deborah was seeing it, but then they was actually showing us at the same time. I like how they did that scene.
Me too. Me.
Um, and of course, when they get inside, and he pulling it out the cells, they was looking nervous. He's like, "Oh no, you ain't gotta be nervous," and he's
Yeah.
showing them, and letting them see it, holding in their hand, looking through the telescope at it, and then putting it on the big screen. I got chills
Me
with that
too.
whole part.
Me too. I
My
was,
eyes teared up a little bit. I ain't
you
even
know,
gonna lie.
we waterheads. We be crying.
Yes.
She was like, "Oh, my mama's cold," and she was like,
Yes, blowing on
"Oh,"
her.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I liked all of that part, and even Zachariah, he was getting emotional too. He was trying to hold it together.
yeah, yeah."
hmm
I was like, "Oh, look at this."
Yes.
I love when the monitor came on, the projection came on, and it had the cells and from
hmm
to it, and then like right now they looking at the live cells of their mom
Right.
microscope. I mean, and then the cells when they put it on the projector and it comes onto the wall or the screen, and they standing
Exactly.
like, oh man, what that must have meant to them at that time, just to
Absolutely.
experience it. Oh wow.
Yeah, because it was like y'all held them off from all of these experiences for all of those years. Not even just the money. The money is one thing, but just even acknowledging them and including them, y'all done made up a whole Helen name, and you know what I'm saying? Like, are you freaking kidding me? So at this point, we go to church. We know that the book is about to be released. We having a funky good time. Rebecca's just like a part of the family. She's telling Rebecca she about to go to nursing aides or something with nursing.
Yeah.
I think it was a nursing assistant. She about to become that. She like, oh, okay. You know, and Rebecca decides she gonna drive to Clover again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she leaving her messages. She calling and she saying, well, why you not picking up the phone? And she calling her brother saying, tell your sister stop playing and answer the daggone phone. Because she want to know if she want to ride with her. And I forget the words she said. Y'all should have wrote it down. Like I said, this was kind of last minute because it really stuck out to me. I don't remember it. But at the same time, Deborah was going to be with her mama, right? But she didn't know that.
Yeah.
She passed away in her sleep in 2009. She had a heart attack in her sleep, they say. But Deborah's talking to her mother in this, scene. And at the same time, now, was this her getting out of the car because she was upset about finding out about Deborah? Because it seemed like she went to Clover and everything that was there wasn't there no more. And she was like bugging out about that at the same
Yes.
time, too. Like, so did I imagine this? Like we both couldn't imagine that we was here together. That was so, oh my goodness, that gave me so
Powerful.
much chills.
Yeah, it gave me chills too because I was like, is this heaven? Like, like because she said because you could hear Deborah voice in the background, like Clover was, heaven to my when you saw Clover, you saw heaven
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it was to my mom.
Yes.
Like, where's the family house? Where is the?
Everything. Only thing, it was like pieces of wood on the floor. I said, what?
I said,
And
what's going on?
yeah. And then we go back and we see, her mother holding her. We see them at the hospital painting her toenails and how he would be downstairs at the hospital, so she could look down at them from the window. Oh man, that make me tear up now.
I was like, she can't even hug her babies, touch her babies, nothing. They don't even know to the extreme. Like she really had to have someone actually assist her to get to the window.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that is something else there. And then to me, all through the whole thing, it seemed like the father had no sense of nothing. Like he was just I remember one of the friends, not to, jump back, but she was like, you having a baby, another baby by that man?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he wasn't really equipped. I guess he did the best he could. God bless him.
Yeah, because she was born in Virginia, and I believe that they moved there to Maryland and started their life there once he went into the military, and then they got their house and stuff. So, I don't know. Yeah, he probably just was one of those type of people like, I go to work, I do whatever I'm doing,
Yeah.
and that's it. Deborah Lax, yeah, she died in her sleep of a heart attack on May 12th, 2009, 9 months before the book was published. I feel like she said, you know what, my job here is done. I
Yeah.
did what I was supposed to do. Once she knew that book was going to be done, She was like, I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
that's something.
Yes,
That is something.
absolutely. It
Wasn't a book?
says
Wasn't a
The
book?
Immortal Life of Henriettalacks by Rebeccaskoot was the New York Times best list for 6 years. Okay, Rebeccaskoot established the Henriettalacks Foundation in 2010. I know that's right.
A good woman.
I had
With
Rebecca.
yeah, she was God sent. She was
Yes.
assignment. That's why I always say to people like we all have a purpose, and
Hmm.
sometimes, not sometimes, but when you get that passion or that zeal inside of you to do something and you can't seem to let it go or you can't seem to put it down, it's designed specifically for you. So that was her purpose. Her purpose was to bring alive, like that was something that was birthed inside of her when her dad was sick, and then it turned out being a, I'm quite sure she's still handling, or her kids or whatever. It just became something that grew into this magnificent thing, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Now to the good part, Huey.
Yeah, and so wait a minute. Patient consent is not required for research on human tissue obtained during medical treatment. And if the donor's identity is removed, the Lax family never received compensation for use of the cells. Now, this was as of 2017 when the movie came out, but fast forward in 2022, they actually fought because I tell you, these people had the audacity, because the thing about it is they just was still like, okay, now we fighting just for our case to even be heard. The I forget their daggone name. I meant to write it down, but the organization basically was fighting and saying to the judge, "Nah, dismiss this case. Like, not even to be heard, not even to give them the opportunity. It ain't even whether it's about a yes or a no. I don't even want you to hear it. Pretty much, right?"
Yeah.
And oh, I hope I didn't. You know, okay, sorry, y'all. I'm trying to multitask. So okay, so they wanted it dismissed, but the judge refused. So they won that. That's what I was confusing, because I kept saying I thought they won 2 different cases, because I was trying to look it back up last night, because I always like to get the information. So
Yeah.
the first thing they won was actually just this company trying to dismiss it. The judge said, "Nah, we ain't dismissing it. We gonna hear both sides of the argument. We taking this, and whatever happened from there happened from there. Decision will be made by about it." So then that was May of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Then on August 2023, which is funny because her birthday is August 1st, so that was just like a full circle. They actually win
August? I thought
the
it was
settlement.
this year. No? Okay.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, "What?" Because trust me, girl, I was trying to dig, dig, dig. I'm like, I could have sworn it was 2 different things, and I seen something else because I always see it trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
So they got a settlement against the biotechnology company that accused, of taking her cells or whatever. And now, only thing is, a lot of things I looked at said the settlement was an undisclosed amount. Then something else I looked at said that it was like either 40 something, 50 something $1 million. But when you look at the overall of the company being like a $76 billion company, I'm like, that's a drop in the bucket to them. But if that was good enough for the family, then that's good enough for me. I hope that they, listen, they can sue every company one by one, and we can keep this thing going. I wouldn't care how many people they sue, because I feel like they deserve every single last thing.
Yep. I personally feel like you said it right there. I feel like that was just the beginning. That was
Mm-hmm.
the company that, you know, um, was the one who started the madness. And I
Yes.
feel like every company that brought into it, that purchased, I feel that they have the right as a family to go for each one.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that the generation now do it.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
I pray
Absolutely.
I
And
pray
I also just want to show really quickly. I don't know if I could share my screen. Like I said, this was kind of little last minute thing, so I didn't really get to everything together the way I normally do. But there was like a couple of different monuments and things that people have put out up, throughout to kind of represent her and show her. And I thought that was really good. I'm like, we sometimes got to be the one that shine the light and celebrate people and bring people to the forefront when other people may not know about it, or even if they do know, we just, we got to be the ones to do it, basically.
We got to be
So,
make the difference. United we stand, divided we fall. We got to be the ones to make.
mhm.
Yep.
Um, and so, even though throughout this time we wasn't getting really no recognition, of course, that's the real life, Henriettalacks. And I'm trying to see. Okay, one thing was that this was a marker that they have in Clover, Virginia, that talks about her, memorializing her.
Yes.
Another thing is they have this in a park, named in honor of Henrietta Lacks in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay. I love it. I'm like, she need. Then they got the statue. I said, come on, statue.
That's
Mind
like
you, this statue replaced the Robert E. Lee statue as it should. Okay, get him up out of here.
that statue located.
In Bristol. Wait, let me make sure. I was like, yes, love it, love it, love it. I believe it was Bristol.
That's all right. We can find out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Tamika.
So I'll let y'all know though. But yes, I love that they had all of those different things, and then it was like some updated pictures of the family when they won the lawsuit, but I didn't get a chance to get that. And she also was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. She got recognition in 2019. Um, she got the University of Bristol. That's what it was. Okay, I knew it was something with Bristol. And then in 2021, the World Health Organization presented an award. So, she's definitely been getting more accolades, more acknowledgments now than probably ever before. And I definitely think that, she deserves that and so much more. Absolutely. Like I just feel like she deserves it all. So yeah, y'all, that's why I wanted to talk about her and definitely shine a light on that. I thought that that would be a great way to, spend a part of June 10th. And also, I forgot to say, rest in peace to Willie Mays. Okay, fly high, fly high, fly high. Rest legend, rest king. Like one of the best to do it. Put some respect on his name as well. Like,
Rest,
yes.
rest, King. That's right. From labor to reward.
Mm-hmm.
This was
Yeah, Inga said, great job, ladies. I hope everyone does their research on this topic and story. Yes, I hope so. I still think the family got screwed. It wasn't enough money. Yes, listen, all these years, that's why we broke down the years and just all the different things. Is like, honestly, I don't think anything is ever, like, you can't take away what's already been done, period. What y'all did, that was just horrible. And then to now, even still, saying, "Oh no, just dismiss that. Who do they think they are?" That was very much giving me the doctor that said, "Oh, those people, they wouldn't understand. What do they need to know about it for? Excuse you." So it's
exactly.
like, yeah, if they have to go down the line and sue every single company individually, then do that. I'm not mad at them. They definitely deserve everything, and
I personally feel
her
as
name deserves to be said everywhere. And I don't think any medical school or program should be functioning without mentioning her, period. Like, what are we talking about?
period. Period.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
I really hope that this video come across, maybe a family member or something, and they see, listen, you're not alone. We here.
Yes.
We see you. We're affected by it too because it should not be. And
Yeah.
that's why I shared earlier. the fact of the genetic genes and the uniqueness that we have, and how even to this day, we have to be very mindful. Don't be so quick when these doctors be like, oh, we need you to come in, to donate. And I specifically say the plasma, because that is something that I don't believe any other culture has, the type of plasma that we have. You guys Google it. Google the Eve gene and the plasma, so you can only imagine. We still making a difference. They just not gonna let you know about it.
Yeah.
About it because they can't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they can't afford to pay everybody. You know,
Hmm.
and that's a whole nother topic. So we not
Yeah,
not gonna
definitely.
go there.
But yeah, you guys, I definitely wanted to come and do this. Like I said, this was a little last minute, but also want to do something for Black Music Month. So I'm trying to figure it out. We're trying to work out the scheduling, but definitely within the next, I don't know. What's today? What's today? Maybe the next 5 to 6 days, maybe you might see me pop up to talk about the Clark sisters. I know that that's next on the list, and then I'm gonna do that for Black Celebrating Excellence. Okay, part of that, and it will be also for Black Music Month because June was Black Music Month as well, and I want to celebrate that, and I want to shine a light on them. So, keep your notifications on. Be on the lookout for that. Trivia night is Saturday, and I will be doing some Juneteenth trivia and some Black music, and well, we know we do music and trivia night anyway, but some something towards that is in there as well. So I didn't want to let the month finish without adding that in. And then y'all know my usual things that I review. Okay. I think tonight we're gonna be on with Moochie, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure because I haven't even got a chance to talk with her. But I think we do me at Kingstown. Of course, I got my sisters and child. Y'all know, go on and on and on from there. So, definitely like the video if you come on the replay. Let us know when you learned about Henriettalacks. How you feel about the movie. Like I said, if you I'm about to say wrote. If you read the book, watch the documentary, any of those things. Let us know how y'all feeling about it. Miss, Kiani, Miss Love covers all. I'm sorry, I don't even think. Listen, I just jumped into this thing, but I think y'all have saw her on my channel before. This is my cousin, love her to death. And of course, she have two foundations, Love Covers All Network and A Mother's Love and Beyond. We did a video together for Autism Month, and she's joined me on several of these, like I was saying in the beginning, as far as the Celebrating Black Excellence. You guys, her links is in the description as well. You can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, but tell them a little bit about yourself, girl, and what you got going on.
Yeah. So we just did our first autism awareness event. We have been invited to several, but we just did our first one. So I'm super excited for that experience. Hip Hop Makes the Brain Rock, which is our program for like music, sensory, ABA methodology, communication skills, all those great things that people are challenged with. Our children can be challenged with, as well as Love Covers All, which is our program for our parents and empowering women, basically just pertaining to mental, physical, and spiritual awareness, just being able to tap in, finding your balance, and being able to love on yourself and just take time out. So I'm excited for what God is doing. Please continue to keep praying for us as we get our location. We need all of the support and sponsorships. Our program that is just coming out is Brilliant Minds with Their Traveling Shoes, teaching parents how to transition and traveling with kids with autism and special needs. And if anybody out there, want to sponsor or believe in these programs that we have, please reach out to a Mother's Love and Beyond .com. You can go on our website or give us a call at 347-909-5980. We thank you for your love and your support. And I thank my cousin for, always putting me on her platform and just loving on me as I love on her. This is amazing. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. Let's turn Juneteenth into bigger than what it's ever been. Let's really take time to celebrate it as the years begin to come. I know it's kind of new for a lot of people as far as us really embracing it, but I really think that we should take the time out to plan family events, maybe little getaways. We got all these Airbnbs and stuff out here. Let's just start thinking ahead and doing something amazing, and coming together culturally, because it's a powerful celebration. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Follow me on Love Covers All on TikTok and the Mothers of and Beyond Foundation on all social media sites. Thank you. I appreciate you. God bless.
Okay. Hey, Amina Steen, what's going on, girl? Yeah, I just jumped up here to talk about little Henriettalacks. Okay, shine a light on her. Okay, shine a light on her. Say her name, say her name, say her name, baby, because they was trying to keep that name on a hush for a long time. So yes. That's what we was up here doing. But if you guys, of course, join the replay, let us know replay game. You came by, I put some things up in the sky, okay? And we gonna catch y'all the next time around. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Be safe, okay? That I don't know what the heck be going on, y'all. Today is the day of things, okay? Oh God.